Well, hello everyone. 15 weeks down and 2 weeks to go in the 2017 NFL regular season. It's been a couple of weeks, so guess what time it is? Well, you read the title already. It's time for an updated 2018 NFL mock draft. The post-week 15, right at the beginning of the week 16 edition. It's only one round. I thought it was going to be two, but we're coming up on Christmas time. I got other shit to do, so I squeezed out one round last night. So there you go. You can check out all 32 picks in the description box down below. Now, I will tell you, the big news is I am starting to grade the individual prospects, and you're going to start seeing those videos coming up after the first of the year. I'll be starting off with the quarterbacks, and then moving on to running backs, and and it'll be similar to last year, where the intention is to do for the quarterbacks. I'll start off with Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, Baker Mayfield, Mason Rudolph, maybe Luke Falk, the most notable quarterback prospects. Then move on to the most notable running backs, wide receivers, and try to make my way through the rotation. Because if I do all the quarterbacks at once and then all the running backs, I might not get to the defensive players until April, and I really don't want to do that. I need to be able to start getting an idea of what there is throughout this draft. I will say that when you look at my mock, I've got quarterbacks going 1-2, which I think everybody assumes is what's going to happen at this point with Cleveland. And as of this time, the Giants having the top two picks. Both teams need quarterbacks in a bad way. The Giants, yes, they need a quarterback, and they need a long-term quarterback, and this might be their best shot to get one because they're going to be in that position. If there was ever a season for them to tank, maybe they feel like this was the season to kind of shit the bed. Obviously, Cleveland needs a quarterback. That's a yearly thing, but they really need to come out with this draft where you have two picks potentially in the top five. They really need to come out of this with a franchise quarterback and a big-time playmaker, whether that's offense or defense. And in this case, I had it work out where it was Lamar Jackson 1 and Saquon Barkley 5. Now you've got some excitement. Now you've got some playmaking ability, some big playmaking ability. And now you've got something to actually work with on the offensive side of the ball. It's kind of a crapshoot for me right now because I just haven't graded very many of these prospects. So I really don't know as much about them to the depth that I would want to be able to feel comfortable about saying, hey, this is where they should go, And I even say that with the quarterbacks. Like, so far, I've completed my grades on Allen and Jackson, and I'm working on Rosen and Darnold right now, but I haven't finished Rosen and Darnold. So this was just kind of thrown together. But you'll see that I have 5 quarterbacks going in the first round, and they're all in the top 15. Now, part of that could be, as a fan, just kind of overrating quarterbacks and the importance and so on and so forth. Or this could be the type of draft where you do have that many quarterbacks go that high. I just don't know with the top guys if there's going to be that much of a differential. And if a lot of other teams kind of look at it very similarly, that they don't really see 1 or 2 guys really as a true cut above the rest, like they see 4 or 5, maybe 6 of them all together, you could see a point where you're going to see a big run on quarterbacks depending on when it starts. You know, we assume it starts at 1 and 2, but then we'll see what happens. Does Indianapolis at 3 think Andrew Luck may never come back or come back to the same level, and do they explore a quarterback? Does somebody like Cincinnati explore moving on from Andy Dalton? Is Denver ready to quit on Paxton Lynch? Are the Jets finally going to try and get a young franchise quarterback? Arizona, are they going to finally draft a young guy? Will Miami draft one? If Kirk Cousins leaves in free agency, does Washington pursue one? Will the Chargers look for a long-term option after Phillip Rivers' career is done? You know, Baltimore, could they be somebody in the mix with Joe Flacco getting up there in the years? There's a Buffalo, obviously. They could be players with 2 first-round picks. They have some of the draft pick capital necessary to go up and get a big-name quarterback if they felt like one was right for the picking and right for the price. The Jaguars could be looking, or a lot of teams based off of situations. Pittsburgh could be looking at a long-term replacement. New England could be looking for a long-term replacement. So this is a good spot to be in for these quarterbacks this year, in that there are a lot of teams, short-term, long-term, combination of both, that could be looking at the quarterback position early, which means we could have somewhere between 4 to 6 of these guys go in round number 1. A lot's going to be determined still with the Senior Bowl, combines, individual workouts, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if that happened, especially because at some of these other positions, I don't know that this is an incredibly strong draft. You know, like right now I've got Quenton Nelson, an offensive guard, mocked in the top 5, And I really don't feel that bad about it. The only thing I feel bad about it is him being taken over Bradley Chubb, let's say. So I think Chubb might be the best defensive player in this draft. And once I go through and get my final grades on him, I wonder if he won't be the first or second best player in the entire draft, according to me. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, you could disseminate, dissect, and mock my mock draft in the comments section below. But know this, after the first of the year, the individual scouting reports will be starting off with the quarterbacks. Number 2 is that after the regular season concludes next Sunday, after Week 17 is over, as I start talking about the playoffs, I start talking about prospects, I will also be starting the season recaps team by team for the teams, starting with those that didn't make the playoffs in draft order. So assuming Cleveland will be first, Giants will be second, just to give you an idea. But I will also be doing a 2-round, maybe 3-round mock draft at that time. So lots of good stuff coming up, so stay tuned, bitches.